Just in time for Christmas, McGinnis Furniture in downtown Cherryville is having a gigantic sale on recliners. Over 65 recliners are in stock, various styles, colors, and fabric, and prices now starting at $269. That's right, only $269. Come see for yourself. While there, check out their full line of beautiful furniture for the home, along with great selection of accessories. Get your new recliner now starting at $269. McGinnis Furniture, 303 East Main Street in downtown Cherryville. Online at McGinnisFurniture.com. Like them on Facebook too. Merry Christmas to all from everyone at Matt and Till Mexican Grill and Mobile Food Truck in Cherryville. We wish you love for you and your family, and may your Christmas sparkle and your New Year shine. We wish you love this holiday season. Merry Christmas to all from everyone at Matt and Till Mexican Grill and Mobile Food Truck, 1205 Shelby Highway in Cherryville. Call 704-435-6887. Open 11 to 9 Monday through Wednesday, 11 to 10 Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Closed on Sunday. Online at MannandTillMexicanGrill.com. Amaryllis, they've got them all. Go in and visit Holly's Flowers and take in the joy and warmth of this glorious season. And let the Holly's Flowers staff help you choose the right gifts for your loved ones and the perfect Christmas decorations for your home. Holly's Flowers, 109 East Graham Street in historic Uptown Shelby. Shop local and support your local businesses. Merry Christmas from Holly's Flowers.
Merry Christmas from Sandy's Country Christmas at 2536 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, North Carolina. Remember, Jesus is the reason for the season. It isn't about the Christmas presents, it's about His presence. Sandy's Country Christmas wishes you all a blessed and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
They won't last long. We're talking about the Speed Queen washers and dryers at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center in Shelby. They are now in stock, but again, they won't last long. Get yours now. Plus a new shipment of Scratch and Dent Samsung refrigerators. Also a full line of Scratch and Dent GE appliances, all with a 1-year warranty. They're in stock and ready to go. Pick up today or have it delivered tomorrow from Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center, 1241 East Dixon Boulevard, Highway 74 East in Shelby. On the right going down, on the left coming up.
With a rich history spanning nearly 100 years, James River Equipment is known for its deep-rooted partnership with the iconic John Deere brand. From large-scale farming to residential mowing, James River delivers the right equipment for every task with a focus on quality, reliability, and affordability. Bring your outdoor spaces to life and choose the brand that understands your world. James River Equipment. Visit JamesRiverEquipment.com to find the location nearest you. James River delivers. Compact Construction Demo Day is Friday, December 5th at James River Equipment on Highway 180 North in Shelby. Register to win $1,500 in discounts.
Welcome back to Saturday Morning Sports Talk. And from Saturday Morning Sports Talk, we go into the Witherspoon Union Shelby pregame show. Today's championships, and we welcome into the studio Brian Branch, Ken Link, and Dennis Davis. And, of course, Kevin Hastings is always.
Came out to the car the other night.
I'm glad Tom's not here. Tom, if he's listening, everybody, they're in here blaming the kicker for the defense giving up 30 points. But, whatever they want to do.
No, I'm just saying. For everything
You
did
got
on
one
one
job.
job, he deserved to be
One
fired.
job.
The defense gave up 30. Whose fault they lost?
I mean, you're giving
So,
Tom Brady the ball.
All right, watch this. Real quick. In the game, it was 28-3. Falcons were leading 28-3. And the Patriots come back and won. Whose fault is it they lost? Matt Ryan or the defense?
That's some of both.
Yeah.
The Patriots scored.
A big part
The
of it.
Patriots scored every possession the rest of that game and won that game. Matt Ryan didn't have nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I know the defense gave it up.
Well, here my question is, and again, we always blame the quarterback. We'll blame the kicker for missing a kick. We never have the discussion of, why did the defense just give up 10 points and we would have won?
Well,
The Patriots won a Super Bowl 13-3. If the other team would have scored 30, we'd have said Tom Brady sucked in this game.
Well,
correct?
Yeah.
So it's on the defense. We have to blame the defenses. And I know we're talking about something else.
Championships.
Correct.
But in this case of this Super Bowl,
I'm so silly.
Cam Newton not jumping on the ball.
Well, that was a different Super Bowl.
Well, like I say, there's a lot of blame to go around in that
Yeah.
game.
All right, where's our big cave? All right, man, we're ready for the Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby pregame show.
Hey, first of all, Kevin, everybody's blaming me for wearing my crest hat today. The reason is superstition. I've worn this all through the playoffs. Every time I've worn it, crest has won, so naturally I wore it today. But I want to give a shout out to you for the KTC hats. I had mine on yesterday at Ingles pumping gas.
Yeah.
Fella came halfway across the parking lot. He was asking me about, do they sell diesel here? When we got to talking, he saw the hat. He said, y'all broadcasting the game? So I put in a plug. Yeah, 2 o'clock tomorrow, Shelby, and 8 o'clock for Crest and everything. He says, I live in Hickory, but I'm a big fan of the show. I watch y'all all the time. I know all the guys. I recognized you. And so, you know, the cap makes a difference when Ken's out and when we're out. People see that and they say, oh, KTC, thank you for broadcasting all the football all season. So a shout out to Calvin and you and KTC for bringing to those people who can't go to Durham today an opportunity to hear the game and keep up with their favorite team, whether it's Shelby or Crest, and it's Cleveland County, so we're pulling for both of them.
Thank you, Dennis, and we'll have both broadcasts today. We are getting in the building early, hopefully, is what we're told. So we'll be able to hopefully start our pregame shows an hour early. So for the folks listening, so the game starts at 8 for Crest, 2 for Shelby. We should have our pregame shows from there, from the stadiums, an hour early. So we should have that. And
one suggestion.
Yes.
Some of you folks want to watch it on TV, turn the sound off and turn on the radio and hear the broadcasters. Pasco and Jeff will do a great job, and I hope Paul and maybe Robbie will get to broadcast some on that Crest game.
He should be there. They all should be there. We'll also have highlights from both games, folks. Follow What's Up Shopper for the tweets from RJ tonight for you Crest fans. Follow at What's Up Shopper on Twitter. For you Shelby fans, you can just follow Jakari if you want to. Jakari Shell at Twitter. Shell Jakari, just reverse his name. SHELLJACARI, and you can follow Jakari with his highlights. He also, hopefully, if we did everything right, and you never how that goes, right, Brian? The sideline might work. It might work. It might not if he gets there. We hope. We don't know.
We just hope.
We just hope. Well, folks, I want to thank you for tuning in. This is the Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby Prep Football pregame show. We do want to thank our post-game sponsor, Full Throttle Powersports, as well, and our pregame meal sponsor, Pete's Fish Box. If y'all wanted Pete's Fish Box, y'all should have texted Calvin. I didn't even think about that.
A little early for fish.
Well, they're on up until like 3, right? Okay. So we couldn't get it this morning. But everybody do go by and see our pregame sponsor and our postgame, Full Throttle Powersports. It is Christmas time. Go over there and see Full Throttle. But Wayne Witherspoon and everybody over at Witherspoon Insurance Agency, want to thank them for doing this every year and taking care of us here on the pregame show and sponsoring the pregame show. I'm trying to pull up the all the state championships for this weekend. We do already have scores from this weekend. Do y'all have them pulled up yet? I'm going to pull up our artwork here on the Photoshop for Chip, so he can get to work here in just a second. But I was just curious if you pull those up when you get a second.
Get on my hotspot internet.
That's fine. We're going to talk to Coach Jones. He's on the road, and I did miss your text, but we got him back now. Coach Jeff Jones should be somewhere out and about. They might be there, but I don't know where they're at. Coach, you got me there?
No, we're making our way to Durham. We're probably about an hour out of Durham, so
Gotcha.
we're on the road making our way. So, what's up, guys?
Good morning, Coach. Well, we just kind of want to start with you guys. We're talking with you guys. We're going to go through the schedule and talk about the season and everything, but basically, I guess tell us a little bit about last week's quick synopsis of getting through Lincoln. And then now what we look forward to here with this matchup with the Kinston Vikings for us today.
Well, Shelby went into Lincoln last week, and there were some really big concerns about the injury situation with their top 3 receivers. We knew one of them was going to be out. Didn't know how didn't know how effective the other two were going to be. But the thing I think people weren't really planning on was the defense to pitch an absolute shutout. And Shelby just, totally dominated, controlled the line of scrimmage offensively and defensively. Got a big rushing game. And after starting like 1 for 4, Farmer ended up 11 for 15 or something like that. And it was a real dominant win for Shelby. Going into that game, Shelby had lost in overtime, 35-34, the first time they played Lincoln. So it's always nice if you're going to have to play somebody a second time, it's almost better to have lost to them the first time.
Absolutely, Jeff. I'm obviously impressed by the defense with the shutout. It's just amazing. Y'all scored 30 points again. And we were just talking about in this room, defense wins championships. And we've mentioned it in the past, that the teams that hover around 100, 150 points on the season on defense usually compete with this. So how does the defense and looking at this Kinston team match up and going into today's ball game?
Well, you look at these two teams, and they are so similar. Shelby scores about 48 points a game. They give up about 19. Kinston scores almost 40 a game, and they give up 20. So, and you look at their offensive numbers. Kinston has more passing yardage, but they've thrown it a few more times. But they're like game-by-game passing yardage, almost the same. Shelby is better at rushing. And I think for Shelby to win, I think they need to rush it pretty well this week, and they really need to put some pressure on their quarterback. The two things that Kinston has going for them is they've got two. Everybody's talked about the number one receiver that's going to NC State, Copper. He's 6'2". The second receiver, though, is 6'5", and he's going to Marshall. And I've been able to look at some film, and what I've seen, their quarterback's also 6'3", and I've seen that quarterback, have to move around a little bit to get away from the rush, and then throw some nice high passes, and he throws them up and lets those 6'2", 6'5" receivers go up and make the catch. And if he's throwing it well and he's throwing that high ball, Shelby's got nobody that's nearly as tall, and so they just got to make sure they get a good tackle. I think it's very important that there's going to be receptions made by those guys. There's going to be some big plays. There may be some interference calls on Shelby, but they can't afford to let those guys run after the catch. And both those receivers have a lot of yards after the catch, so that's going to be key. Also, be helpful if Shelby can get a lot of pressure on the quarterback. And if they do those two things, I think they've got a good chance tonight.
Well, Jeff, I think the question for Shelby, and if Tom was here, he'd be making bets on this. Land Farmer, if he gets 81 yards today passing, will have reached the 10,000 yards passing. Tom would probably, like to bet on the over-under on that or whatever. But you're right about Kinston. They have more than one receiver. They've got a dynamic offense, a 4,000-yard passer in quarterback Tyler Jones, a 2,000-yard receiver in NC State recruit Tarek Cooper, and he has 30 touchdowns. And the Marshall recruit that you mentioned, Brennan Chambers, he has over 1,000 yards and 14 touchdowns. So don't sleep on this Kinston crowd. Ken and I talked about it a little earlier. This game's going to be tougher than a lot of people think. Shelby's a dynamic team. This could be a shootout between Kinston and Shelby. I think you've got bigger guns and a better team, so go win it, Jeff.
Well, I hope you're right. But like I say, I can see this game going a number of different ways, and it's always difficult. I think back when I was coaching, when you play a team from the East, there's no frame of reference.
No.
Unless you're playing a team that you've seen before. But, you just don't have any idea. I mean, we watch we've got film on Kinston against James Keenan. We've got film on against Northeastern. We've got film on them against Pasquotank. Well, we have no frame of reference on how good those teams are. And so it's really, really difficult to figure out how good their offense and defensive line is. I will say this, I watching them 4 or 5 games, just casually watching, their defense goes hard. They're quick. They're not terribly big, but they come forward and they hit people. And so the more I've watched them, the more I was pretty impressed with their defense. Now, when they've run up against a team that just has to run it, they've been pretty effective. But the whole Eastern North Carolina, you don't tend to see the prolific passing attack. And, of course, that's what they've got. And so if you do it well on offense, you do it a lot against your defense in practice. And so you would think that they would be a little bit better pass defense than what Shelby has tended to run up against when they're playing teams in the East. So that's a little bit concerning. But like I say, I talked to Coach Wilbanks, and he said it really comes down, again, turnovers, big plays, penalties. If Shelby can do well in those 3 things, they feel pretty good about the game.
Well, Jeff, I see this as a little bit of a mismatch in a way, and I'm talking about East and West. You've got very good teams in the West. You guys have proved it. You've went through the long slog to get here. And I see this sometimes, it's like when the 15-year-olds play the high school boys, you're going to go with the high school boys because they're more experienced, they're a little more mature, they've been there, they've done that, and they're going to be dominant. And I think the teams in the East who run up these big offensive numbers, either rushing or passing, haven't played the level of competition that Shelby's played, and that's your ace in the hole. You're battle-tested and you're tougher. You've played the Crest, the Kings Mountains, the Lincolntons. You guys have had a little bit of a soft schedule in some places, but you've had a really tough schedule in others. And that's going to be the difference, I think, between the Kinston Knights and the Shelby Lions. And I'm going with the Shelby Lions to pull that out because of experience and just being a little bit tougher.
Jeff, this Ken
Link. Yeah, go ahead, Ken.
Last week against Lincoln, the Lincoln head coach, following the game, made this comment. He said, well, it was a defensive line. He said, we just couldn't block them. We had some success the first game, but he said we couldn't block them tonight. And I give credit to Shelby, and I think that's going to be the difference today, is that defensive line is going to be pretty tough, and I think they're going to get after that quarterback and make it difficult for him. So I think that's going to be the difference is your defense. I think both teams are going to put points on the board, but I think you'll slow them down a little bit with your defensive line.
And, Coach, this is Brian Branch. Same thing. It's going to come down. What I saw Shelby and Lincoln is defense made the difference last week in that game, especially up front. So, I mean, if you can put pressure on that big quarterback and then limit their possessions or create a turnover, that's where Shelby's going to, see the difference if they can put on that kind of coming off that great defensive performance at Lincoln. If they can get that kind of effort in the state championship, it's going to bode well for them.
Well, Jeff, let's talk about your offense for just a moment. You've got this guy, Jonas Woods, who's a freshman. And of his 960 yards that he's gained this year, 605 of them have been in the playoffs. So don't overlook the Shelby offense and the running back. They may have an NC State recruit running back, but you've got a Shelby defense, and you've got an offensive player there that can get the job done.
Yeah, Shelby's
Woods has got an interesting situation because he's got 960 yards. He needs 40 yards to reach 1,000. There's never been a freshman running back at Shelby that's got 1,000 yards.
Yeah, he's good.
So he's pretty dynamic. And anytime you talk about, the Lamb's done a great job at quarterback, and Woods has done a great job rushing the ball. The offensive line has really improved over the year. And anytime that you got a running back that's rushing for, got 960 yards, and the majority of it's been in the last 6 ball games, the offensive line's opened up holes for him. So they really come on. So the offense and defensive line, I thought, were really dominant against Lincoln. And that makes things a lot easier when you do that.
Well, Jeff, as an old line coach, you can appreciate Hollifield. He's had 127 tackles, 29 for loss, and Noah Gardner. he's had 99 tackles and 15 sacks and forced 23 turnovers. So your defense is no cream puff.
Yeah, but that offense, the offense has just gotten extremely efficient as the year has went on. They cut out the early mistakes that cost them in some games, in the county rivalry games where they were making some mistakes. They've eliminated those, and they've gotten very efficient as the playoffs has went.
That's true. And, you know, again, turnovers, I mean, that last game at Lincoln is one of the few times, I mean, they turned it over. They lost turnover battle. But the other thing about Shelby, and you can look over the years, and this will be true of just about anybody, but especially Shelby, the points off turnovers. Your turnovers are important, but the points off turnovers are more important. And right now, Shelby points off turnovers, they've given up 48, but they scored 132.
And that's a nod to that defense right there.
Absolutely.
And at the beginning of the year, they were behind on all those. They lost their first 2 ball games, and they were way behind on the points off turnovers. But, you know, over the years, and, you know, Brent and I are doing our 8th state championship game together. And I think Brent did a few more because he's been doing it a little bit longer than I have. But in all those state championship years that we covered them, by the time they get to this, they are way ahead on points off turnovers, and that's the same thing today. So if they can win the points off turnovers battle, that'll be huge too.
Well, Jeff, I know you've been doing this a long time since you got out of coaching. Shelby's been in 20 state championships, and they've been in 7 in the last 12 years. This is the first time since 1955 that Kinston's been in a state championship game. I think the experience factor favors Shelby.
Actually, Shelby beat Kinston 10 years ago in 2015.
Well, they haven't won a championship.
They won a state championship.
They haven't won a state championship since 55.
Yeah,
because you guys did beat them early.
At NC State exactly 10 years ago, and they defeated Lincolnton to get to that game. So it's really interesting.
Yeah, and that was
you look at Shelby since 1977. They've been in 26 regional finals. They're 12-4 in the state championship game. Their all-time playoff record since they rejoined the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. They've been in 1977. They've been in the playoffs 41 years, and they've won 125 games and lost 27. And here's a trivia question for you, because you guys are really showing off your knowledge of statistics and things. When's the last year that Shelby did not make the playoffs?
Oh, now that's a $64 million question.
Is that a thing, Jeff? I didn't think that was. That's like Notre Dame not making the college football playoff.
1992.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a lot of years.
And
that's great. I was in middle school.
How about if I told you what Shelby's record was when they didn't make the playoffs that year?
Feed me.
8-2.
Wow.
Golly.
That's when one team win or something?
Only 2 teams went, and Shelby lost to South Point the last game of the season and came in 3rd place, went 8-2.
Yeah.
And
take that, Notre Dame.
That time period,
Yeah.
Here's another trivia question for you. When's the last time that Shelby did not win a playoff game?
Ooh. You're Mr. Trivia today.
They've made the playoffs every year since 1992.
Yep.
The last time that they did not win a first-round playoff game was 1994. They lost to Pisgah, a really close game, and if they had won that game, they were going to play Burns in the second round. And then 94, is the year that both Burns and Crest won state championship.
Yeah.
Yep.
So again, those are just some trivia. You guys were showing off your knowledge, and so I wanted to see if you could come up with those.
Well, you just stumped us on that.
Jeff just dropped some knowledge on us there.
Just dropped a bomb on us there.
Jeff is Mr. Shelby football stats.
Right, exactly.
So.
Pardon to my good friends, the boys that keep the score. We won't get into a fight with them, and we won't get into a fight with Steve DeGree. But you guys, all the Shelby staff, people, and the announcers do a great job, and we appreciate it. And I tell you, I remember, listening to you guys. I was laying in a rehab hospital, unable to move, and I had the Shelby championship game on. I think it was around 2008 or sometime, and you guys were able to pull it out. So I appreciate the radio broadcast, and you guys will do a great job of keeping everybody informed of what's going on. And Jeff, you and Pasco don't get the big head, but you guys do a great job.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's been good talking to you guys. We're getting a little bit closer, and so I'm going to get off the phone before I lose all my charge and have to find some place to charge my phone today. Good talking to you guys. Safe travels, gentlemen.
All right, yeah,
All
y'all
right, take care.
Thanks, Coach. Coach Jeff Jones, along with Brent Pascoe, they are heading over to Durham. They will cover game one of the two games that have a little bit of interest for this area, I believe, today in North Carolina high school football with the high school state championship this afternoon. Kinston against Shelby, the 3A state championships, 2 p.m. taking place at the Durham County Memorial Stadium in Durham. Real quick, guys, as we'll get ready to take a break here. Just kind of quickly running down Shelby's schedule here for what they've done this year. And Dennis, you as much, and Brian and Ken, we talked about this a little bit, I think, going into week 3. We all were a little flummoxed after the first two opening games for Shelby there. The Crest game, I think, and it was a barnyard burn. It was a county rivalry, and it played like it was a 1-score win for Crest. I think the game that really kind of shocked all of us was the Kings Mountain game against Shelby. We definitely thought, and I think most of us picked Shelby to win that game. And not only was it that it was a loss, it was 30-14. Kings Mountain won that game. So we roll into week 3, kind of wondering what's wrong with Shelby, and then they roll off 4 straight. And then, of course, the overtime loss to – and I'll run down these real quick. They lost to Kings Mountain 30-14 in week 1. Week 2, Crest defeats them 31-24. To say the next week was a rebound might be a little bit of an understatement. 90-0 a victory, and then the next week 49-14 over West Lincoln. A 62-0 shutout of Cherryville. They defeat Stuart Kramer 50-29. Then we head into October. They had that overtime loss. They were up a decent amount late on Lincolnton. Lincolnton came back and defeats them in overtime by 1 point, 35-34. That's the last loss Shelby's had this season, guys. And then we got East Gaston 42-6. Bessemer City, they win 67-0. They a 1-point victory over Burns, 36-35. Is that the game where I think Burns had a chance to kick a field goal and they missed the next to last play of the game or something? I think bad snap or something.
They got it blocked.
It was blocked. I'm sorry, not bad snap. It was blocked.
Then Shelby had just scored on a 4th and 11 to take the lead.
That's right. Yes, thank you.
It was more than that. It was 4th and like 15.
Yeah, something like that. And they threw a touchdown pass, and then Burns almost ran the kickoff all the way back, got down close enough to try the field goal, and it got blocked.
Yeah, so Burns winning 36-35. McMichael, they defeat McMichael 70-14. East Rutherford 65-34. And then in the playoffs, to defeat Mount Airy, first round of the playoffs against East Rutherford 65-34. They defeat Mount Airy 41-21. Defeat Eastern Randolph 43-41. That was we'll get into that game a little bit later. And then also the 30-0 shutout of Lincolnton. Got them into the state championship. Guys, we need to take a quick break. Thank you for tuning in. You are listening to the Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby, North Carolina Prep Football pregame show, special edition Saturday morning as we prepare for state championship Saturday here for two Cleveland County schools. We'll be right back. KTC Broadcasting.
This hour of music is brought to you by Nature's Generosity and Community Mercantile, located at 1074 College Avenue in Shelby. A one-of-a-kind store where everything is handmade by local artists. Discover soaps, pantry goods, clothing, gifts, and more. Plus weekly community events for the whole family. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And now they've expanded. Grab your new favorite drink at Craven Java and more. Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 4 p.m., where every sip supports the community. It's time to call the Substation 2 in Shelby and get those party trays ordered for the big game or for your Christmas party. Available in a variety of sizes, and pickup for Christmas party trays will be 11 a.m. on Christmas Eve, December 24th. Call 704-482-1220 to place your order today. And come on in for the weekly specials. It changes every week. The subs are so good at the Substation 2. 611 South Lafayette Street in Shelby. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 8:30, and delivery is available by Uber Eats and DoorDash. This holiday season, all of us at Gutter Guys wants to say a heartfelt thank you to our loyal customers. In 2025, we were grateful to install so many new roofs and seamless gutters throughout our community. And we're grateful for the trust you place in us every day. As the year comes to a close, we wish you and your families a Merry Christmas and a happy, healthy New Year. From the Gutter Guys family to yours, thank you. And here's to a wonderful 2026. Basic Finance in Shelby is celebrating their 25th anniversary this month. And they want to take this time to say thank you for your business over the past 25 years. And they're looking forward to serve you more. And Christmas loans begin November 17th with no payment due till January 1st, 2026. Find out more during the 25th anniversary at Basic Finance, 306 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, right across from Shelby High School. Open 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. Call 704-481-0111. And remember, golf on Saturday, church on Sunday. It's time to ride into fall with the new Slingshot from Full Throttle Powersports in Law. Financing as low as 0.99% for 36 months and zero money down. Or take $4,000 customer cash. Also check out the Polaris factory authorized clearance sale. Also get 0.99% for 36 months and zero money down, or take $4,000 customer cash. And check out the Kawasaki Brute Force 750 Full Throttle Powersports, 100 Indian Walk-In Law, online at ncfullthrottlepowersports.com. The name DeRisi is a well-known name in Polkville. Joe DeRisi operates 3 auto-related businesses there, including DeRisi Auto Sales and Service, located at 4606 Polkville Road. DeRisi Body Shop on West Stagecoach Trail. Whether it's an attractively priced used car or maybe you need a tune-up or body work done, Joe DeRisi is the man. Call 980-295-5000 for the pre-owned car and service shop, or 704-538-9956 for the body shop. Like them on Facebook too.
For over 60 years, through 3 generations, Hoyle Plumbing has been the reliable source for all your plumbing needs. Whether residential or commercial, our skilled technicians can handle your every plumbing issue. Rather tackle the job yourself? Hoyle Plumbing has a parts counter well-stocked and open to the public with knowledgeable people to answer any plumbing question you may have. Reach out to us today at HoylePlumbing.com. That's HOYLE Plumbing.com. Your hometown plumber for over 60 years, Hoyle Plumbing is here for you.
And we're back on our very special Saturday morning version of the Witherspoon Insurance Shelby pregame show with Chip, Brian, Ken, and Dennis.
That might be the smoothest intro with all the names. And this is not a normal combination of people, man.
Yeah, no.
I think when you get used to a group, it's like it relaxes.
Yeah.
Channeling of the Santa hat.
Oh yeah, he is channeling the Santa hat.
That's what it is.
Hey, JP, give me a Santa right now. I interrupted.
Ho, ho, ho.
There you go. I interrupted you during Saturday morning.
Yeah, you didn't even let me do Tom's name.
Yeah, so I know. I apologize to Tom about that. I did get. Hey, congratulations though, our inaugural Terry Reinhardt Broadcaster of the Year award. That was well deserved to Mr. Cinefani.
Yes.
So welcome back, folks. Thank you, JP, to the Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby pregame show, a special segment here Saturday morning as we prepare for Championship Saturday here in North Carolina, especially in Cleveland County. Our two of our 4 teams are represented in state championships today. Shelby will kick things off at 2 p.m. in their game against, let's get the scoreboard back over here real quick, against Kinston. And then that'll be followed up a few hours later, same location in Durham, as Crest takes on Hunt in the 5A. We'll get to Crest here in a little bit. Guys, going back, and I know appreciate Jeff Jones calling in. You guys had some great questions kind of breaking down the matchup today against Kinston. I heard a little bit last night, and I don't want to be redundant, but somebody told me that Kinston's got a pretty solid young man who's a receiver. I think he's signed with NC State, and apparently he's kind of like Land's got a lot of opportunity for breaking records around the state and in our area. This young man apparently has got opportunity yardage-wise and touchdown-wise to get some state records receiving-wise for Kinston. So I do not know. Somebody just mentioned
Tyreek Cooper.
It might be, yeah.
Actually, it's Copper.
Oh, excuse me, I misread. Sorry.
Copper.
Thank you, sir.
His father was an NFL player for 9 years.
Oh, really?
Receiver.
Okay.
Didn't catch a lot of passes, but I think he played on special teams. But
Yep.
he obviously was good enough to stick around 9 years.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
And he had one son that played with ECU between 20 and 2023. I think it was Terrence Copper Jr., and that is his other son now,
Okay.
Tariq Copper. And on the season, I think Dennis mentioned it before, 98 reception, 2,013 receiving yards. That's 134-yard average per game.
Yep.
30 touchdowns this year.
They got him for 32 on Max Press.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, going to NC State.
And somebody told me, and I don't have a way of confirming this, that receiving yardage total and that touchdown, the reception touchdown total, both of those are creeping up very close to some type of record or across the state.
Yeah, you got the quarterback Tyler Jones with 54 TD passes.
Wow. That's,
And
He's
4,000
yards.
Wow. He's one off of Peyton Manning's record right there.
Yeah.
We think about Land Farmer.
I think they said he was 15th and 16th in the whole nation in yardage and touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, we think about Land Farmer getting close to that 10,000, but he's got 4,000 this year.
And let me tell you an amazing thing. I got on the internet and looked. He has 0 offers to play at the next level. I don't understand it, but he's got 0 offers.
Is this the guy for Kinston?
Yeah, the quarterback.
We got 2 quarterbacks, and I don't know about Land. I've not heard anything.
I haven't heard anything on him either.
I've heard he's got some
Good.
interest.
Good.
I have heard that.
As
I'm not
I
gonna
said
talk
it,
about specifics.
I said in the post-game show last night, if somebody's not signed that young man, please sign him. I mean, he has shown himself, and guys, we talked about it during the break. And we alluded to it as we were going into the first break here. The first 2 weeks, this Shelby team didn't look like Shelby, especially, and I would argue, especially week 1. We talked to Coach Steve Degree about it, Dennis, you and I did during the postgame show. I think a lot of week 1, and I'm not in the young man's head, but there had to be an immense amount of pressure on Land going into this season. He had to probably felt like there was a lot for him to prove. He wanted to make a statement senior year, all those sorts of things. And I think he had a 2 or 3 interception game against Kings Mountain, and it almost seemed like he was trying to make things happen. He was trying to force the issue a lot of times.
But Chip, I got an explanation for that. Land was playing at Land level. He had been playing at a certain degree of accuracy and performance. Land actually had to wait for the rest of the team to catch up with him. The timing between him and his receivers, the time between his lines and the defensive line had to get their act together until finally they synchronized and meshed together. And it's when they had a little experience that they started being very productive. And Land was able to continue doing what Land had done all along. We talked about earlier, if he doesn't have an offer from Gardner Webb
or somewhere, anywhere.
It's a local school. Yeah, I know that you want to go off and be big time somewhere, but he would fit into what their coach wants to run in an offense. It would be a plus for him. It would be a plus for the local people to continue to watch him grow and play well. Now, he may want to go to a big school. And when you go to a big school, you might be a big star. You might be a big sitting on the bench guy. So, do you want to play or do you want to go somewhere where it's big? And the thing of it is, so many of these guys, they get dazzled by the bright lights, and then they get there and, I can't fit in. Javaris Green, the receiver from Crest, who went to Carolina, he's in the transfer portal. Doesn't say anything about him. It's just the competition at wide receiver at Carolina is pretty tough.
It's across the sport too. I mean, you talk about I can only compare it to my experience when I was looking at running in college, and I ran at Gardner Webb, and obviously different sport, but my coach made a very similar comparison. He said, I've got guys in the state that he said, that you are up there, if not better than them, but they talking to them about coming and joining the team, being a part of the team, and Gardner Webb was making them move to Division I at that point, and he said, but they were like, I want to go run at an ACC school, I want to go run at Carolina or an NC State. It was probably the best ACC running school in the state at the time, and he's like, why would you? Okay, you can do that, but why are you going to do that when you're going to be the 4th or 5th guy in your event on the depth chart, and you might get to run one meet that year. And so all you're doing, you're going to practice for one meet in the year when you're going to come to a Gardner-Webb, or a smaller Division I school, or if you've got that caliber, and you're going to be able to participate in every meet.
A lot of times it's about the goals of the kid. Though.
Sure.
Yeah.
The kid has aspirations to play at a higher level, and again, sometimes it's influenced by the parents and the people around them. Sometimes they don't see it clearly, but once they get there, it's all bets are off. You're in a straight competition.
Yep. You were the best guy in your school.
Right.
But here's the deal. What you haven't realized is that 3% of the high school football players make a college team.
Yeah.
And of those, I used to tell kids, everybody came right after we had David Thompson at Crest. Mm-hmm. We'd have 100 kids try out for the team. Oh, I'm going to be the next David Thompson. Son, you ain't even making a JV team.
Right.
Yeah. And do you realize how few people make it to the collegiate level, and how few of the collegiate level make it to the pro level, and how few of them become a David Thompson or a Michael Jordan? It's a rare thing. Your chances of being a brain surgeon are much better than being
there's
pro
a lot,
athlete.
For athletics, there's a lot of it, and especially, and I would argue in high school, and even the lower the level you go, there's a lot of it where if you're game smart and you are willing to put the work in and put the effort in, you can have a pretty solid high school career. When you start going to college, especially colleges that offer scholarship money, all that effort, and you're gonna have to. That's gonna have to be a given. You're gonna have to put that effort
100%.
in. Some people are just better, and I can remember one of the first cross country meets I ever ran was in Charlotte, and I looked to my right and I saw Duke, and I looked to my left and I saw Purdue, and I'm like, welcome to Division I running right now. And I didn't see those guys very much after the gun went off. So.
Well, Chip, there's also the reality of who you are. I've had Mr. Basketballs in Indiana come down, and they basically played third string for me. I had guys that played at some little podunk high school in North Carolina, but they put in the work. They had a tough mindset. They went to the weight room, and they were starters. Now, they were big fish, maybe in a small pond. Yeah, I get that. But we were the number one team in the country at that time, the NAIA. Mm-hmm. You looked more at this point for kids who fit attitude-wise rather than physical-wise. Yeah, that 6'6" center, he might not be on the recruiting list down at NC State or Duke or Carolina, but he could come to another school and be a star on that team because of his attitude and his work ethic.
Exactly.
But is there a place for land farmer? 100%. There's a place.
That's exactly what I was going to segue back to, Brian. You're exactly the town. I mean, that mentality. I mean, land and what we've seen that young man do this year again with not exactly the start he wanted to have,
right? And
what he has done since that first week specifically, and you saw him turning the corner against Crest. I mean, one score loss to Crest is nothing to be ashamed about. That's good, and that's good in and of itself. And then to roll off all of these other games. One other loss, again, overtime loss to Lincolnton, but then you've been you've won every other game and won most of them fairly handily. And even going into 2 weeks ago, might have been the biggest test for them of any of them. That Eastern Randolph game where Will has made the point to me for weeks now that going to having to travel an away game in the playoffs, there's just certain advantages that come with that. I think we saw that as close to that as happens with Shelby going to Eastern Randolph, and for them to still pull out the victory there. Yes, Land has. And what's his completion percentage since then, Brian? Didn't you have that?
Well, I mean, like I said, we looked at the early games. I'm sorry, maybe Ken's got it.
Oh yeah,
well, he's 70% on the season now. I didn't go back and take out the bad first two games.
Sure.
Yeah,
so obviously it's over 70.
Right.
We were talking about Kings Mountain. I looked. He had 2 turnovers. He had two interceptions that game, and a 50 quarterback rating. Yeah. If you look at the season, he's 142.
Yeah.
So you can just look at how efficient he's been.
7 interceptions on the whole year, and that includes those two early ones.
And 48 touchdowns. Now, I don't know if that's passing TDs.
Yeah.
So, again, and he's shown the dynamic as the years went on of using his legs.
13 touchdowns on the ground.
Exactly. So that's been a big shift in what he does this year.
I tell you what, he's not fast, but he's 6'3".
He's a big young
30. He's hard to bring down.
I would say this, Ken, and we were talking earlier about some pro football players, our all-time favored Panthers.
Yeah.
And there was some questions about Cam Newton, but Cam Newton had a physical presence. He had the height, he had the ability. He could run the ball as well as pass the ball. I think Land Farmer is a high school version of a Cam Newton, not the crazy clothes and hair and attitude, but he's the kind of guy that possesses those traits that you're looking for as a coach.
Guys, real quick, and we're going to have to kind of bounce around here. We had some scheduling difficulties. Robbie Roop, we're going to we're going to talk to Crest, talk about the Crest game here, obviously in a little bit. But we've got our special call, and I think he's up against some scheduling conflicts. But Robbie Roop is on the phone. Robbie Roop, do we got you, buddy?
Yeah, guys. Just going to touch base with you for a minute because over here at Crest, getting ready to see the team off.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling in.
Y'all made a great point talking about Shelby. For me, the key in that Shelby game against Kinston is going to be Jonas Woods and how he handles running the ball as a freshman. If he can do his job, I think Shelby's in good shape. And a quick thing I want to let Charger Nation know. I was perusing the Wilson newspaper this morning before I come over here, and the Wilson players said they don't expect a hostile crowd tonight from the Charger faithful. So all the Charger faithful needs to know that the Wilson Warriors do not expect to see a hostile crowd tonight out of the Crest Chargers. So we definitely need to go to Durham and show them how we handle things here in Cleveland County.
I love it, Robbie. Thanks for that.
You're talking about Sid Bryson East.
Yeah.
Hey, give us a head count on the number of people there from their side and then the Crest side, and I'm going to say there's going to be a problem.
There you go. But I do know Tim's going to be giving you guys a call here in a little bit as well to break down the game a little bit more.
Okay.
But it should be an exciting time for Cleveland County. Once again, two teams heading to try to win a championship. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm just tickled that I'm here to be able to see another one.
Yeah.
So it should be fun.
Right. And Robbie, we're tickled that you're there at the game, and we'll get to hear you. We wish we could hear Andy Foster on that too.
Exactly right. I know he'll be tuned in listening. He was able to listen to us last week and was on the edge of his seat listening to Hickory and the South Point game as well. Definitely missed, without a doubt, doing the Crest games, but we know he'll be tuned in. And, again, a big thank you to Calvin and Kevin and the gang and letting us bring these games to you. A lot of people don't realize local radio in a lot of places is dying. And I appreciate the Hastings and what they do in allowing us to let local radio still be an important part of the community, and it just means a lot.
Good deal. Well, hey, Robbie, thanks again. And kind of, obviously, you've seen your thoughts. I'm sure you know. I don't want to ask who you're going to pick to win this game, but just kind of your thoughts or what time you've had a chance to watch Crest a little bit. Just any additional thoughts going into this game or kind of leading into the state championship game. Any additional thoughts you've got?
Well, it's kind of like Jeff said. You just don't know a lot about the teams from the East. I will say I watched the best athletic teams Hunt played this year was Northern Nash and Tarboro, and both of them kind of had their way with them.
Okay.
You look at the guys who pick these games, and they do a great job. The ones that do the point spreads, at what Massey ratings, the Simmons polls, things like that. I think Simmons has got Crest picked by 26.
Yeah,
and I think the Massey ratings got Crest picked by 35.
Okay.
He has Shelby.
It's just, I think I saw Hunt's down to 30 players. They've actually had some guys quit and go play other sports. I mean, here you are in the middle of a playoff run, and they've had guys not play. They call themselves the Dirty 30 that are left to play. But those kids are going to play hard, and they're excited to be there. And you don't get to this point without being good.
Yeah.
And so if I'm Crest, you got to stay focused. I was talking to Coach Frank Toms. He said that the team that reminds Crest the most is Ashbrook. Is what Hunt reminds them of, and we know Ashbrook was able to handle Crest.
Yeah.
He said, but that's what they do with their running back and their quarterback. So it reminds them. But I think Crest will be ready. They've seen some really good teams. For me personally, the thing that I like that Crest has done has been these last 2 weeks. Because you saw what they did during the season. They blew out a lot of teams. So I was concerned what happened when you got in tight games. And then that game at South Point to come back and win in the second half in Belmont, and then to go to Hickory, and Hickory get the lead on you and come back and win that game as well. That says a lot about the heart and the resolve of this football team. And I cannot be more, and let me just end with this. I cannot be more excited for Greg Lloyd and his opportunity to win his state championship and to do it at his alma mater at Crest High School. Man, that is special.
Preach it there, Robbie. I agree with you very much. Thank you so much for calling in. My apologies on my part for my scheduling snafu. I appreciate you calling back, and we're very grateful to hear your perspective. And first of all, just glad to have you back on the radio, my friend, and great to hear from you. And go Chargers.
Yeah, go Chargers, go Big Shelby. Let's get them twice.
That's right. Let's do it both times, both games today.
See you guys.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Robbie. Take care. So Robbie Roop there, appreciate his input. So I think he said we might have one of the Foster, Tim or Paul calling in a little bit later. So guys, we'll do kind of wrap up this segment here with Shelby before we start talking about Crest. Any final thoughts or anything? And we'll get back to doing our game predictions as we wrap up the show. But any final thoughts or any final analysis in depth about Shelby that we want to talk about?
One thing I'll mention, the other wide receiver for Kinston is named Brennan Chambers. He's going to Marshall. He's 6'5", 185. But I read he just started playing football last year in his junior year. He'd been playing basketball. He'd never played football. So he's only played football 2 years. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's got 14 touchdown receptions as well. And, looking at Tyler Jones as a quarterback, his quarterback rating's like 130, so he's not quite as efficient as Land has been, even with those early games mixed in.
And even with the talent at receiver, it sounds like
even
he's
with
got.
the talented receiver. So, you're leaning Shelby, on the offensive side. And after what I saw at Lincoln, I was impressed with Shelby's defense, the way
their
progressed.
defense was much better in the second Lincoln game than the first. The coach said after the game we could not block their defensive line.
Exactly.
And he said that's pretty much. Hey, Shelby scored 30. That didn't surprise me. But them shutting out Lincoln.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't expect that
part. Yeah, I thought that Lincoln would at least be able to put a touchdown or two up on the board. So Dennis, any final thoughts about Shelby before we take our next break?
Predictions?
Well, I think what we talked about is Cleveland County football across, whether it's Burns, Kings Mountain, Crest, Shelby. You got to play the teams in the county. And those are some championship caliber teams that you're playing. And while Shelby started a little bit slow, it was the competition that, like Forging Metal, it was the heat that made them what they are today, a championship team. And that's why they will come out victorious today, is because the heat that's been applied and forged them into a championship team.
So we'll come back and do predictions at the end of the show for all four games that are today. Right now, let's take another break. You're listening to the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby. Thanks for tuning in. This special edition. It's State Championship Saturday for Cleveland County. We'll be right back. KTC Broadcasting.
There's nothing like cash in your pocket, especially if you can turn your scrap into cash with the help of Gaston Used Auto Parts and Recycling in Gastonia. For over 25 years, this locally family-owned and operated business has been giving some of the best prices for scrap. They take tungsten scrap carbide, as well as stainless steel, aluminum, copper, and brass. Need help? Gaston Used Auto Parts and Recycling will supply you with a roll-off container to help make your recycling easy. Turn your scrap into cash with the help of Gaston Used Auto Parts and Recycling. 305 Dogwood Street in Gastonia. Call 704-827-9468. Online at GastonUsedAutoPartsAndRecycling.com. It's a year-end blowout sale on Spartan zero-turn mowers at Tri-City Outdoor Power Equipment in Forest City. Now, save up to $7,000 off MSRP on the remaining Spartan zero-turn mowers. Also, year-end sale prices on Bobcat tractors, excavators, track loaders, and more. And remember, with every mower purchase, your name will be entered to win $5,000 during the year-end blowout sale at Tri-City Outdoor Power Equipment, 221 Daniel Road, Forest City. Applying for a car loan has never been easier than now at Jeff's Auto Sales in Lincoln and Shelby. Just apply online and get your financing pre-approved. Just go to jeffsautosales.com. And remember, they are the home of the $500 down payment. And shop online for your next vehicle. See the entire selection, pick out the one you want, and just apply online. That's Jeff Auto Sales, 3081 East Highway 27 in Lincoln, 4490 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Again, apply online at jeffsautosales.com. Pfeiffer Cafe wishes everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Voted one of the best restaurants in Cleveland County, Pfeiffer Cafe offers a variety of delicious menu items. Give them a try. You'll love their food. While there, visit their in-house bakery filled with delicious sweet treats. They do custom orders for Christmas. Pecan pies, pumpkin pies, and a delicious array of novelty treats for the holidays. So give them a call at 704-481-7285 or stop in at 112 East Warren Street at Uptown Shelby for a meal and a delicious bakery item. They're open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. till 3 p.m., Friday evenings, 5 till 8. You're listening to The Boss, WHS, Shelby, North Carolina, your beach oldies and sports stations. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
From the KTC Broadcasting Weather Center, here's your forecast for Cleveland and Gaston counties. Enjoy the sunshine today. Highs in the upper 50s this afternoon. Mostly clear tonight. Lows around 40. Sunny and cooler on Sunday as temperatures start to fall in the afternoon. Gusty winds across the area. Clear and much colder for Sunday night with lows around 14. From the KTC Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Johnny Cottle for WOHS and WCSL.
Currently from the KTC Broadcasting Studios, it's 11:17, and the temperature is 45 degrees.
And we're back on the special edition of the Witherspoon Insurance Shelby pregame show here on Saturday mornings. And, sorry, we do have a phone call.
Yes, we do. Thank you very much, JP.
My old college professor, CCC, actually.
The esteemed, intelligent professor, Tim Foster's on the line. Mr. Foster, how are we doing, sir?
How are you this morning, gentlemen? I appreciate that makes me feel good. Whoever said that, Chip, was that you? I'll take it, man.
Paul paid me good money to say that, Tim.
I thought he had paid some money on that. So it doesn't matter who says it. I'll take it. Good morning, gentlemen.
Yes, sir. How's it going again? Are you excited about Championship Saturday?
Yes, sir. I tell you, it's an exciting day, guys, as we're on the road to Durham, and what a historic day to have Shelby and Crest both going for state championships at Durham Memorial Stadium. I mean, it's just it's a dream day if you're a fan of Cleveland County football.
Yeah, definitely. So that we've got Crest today going up in the 5A state championship against Hunt. And I think we heard earlier that I believe that they didn't. That there was some comments that they didn't believe or from Robbie shared with us. I believe that they didn't expect to have a rowdy crowd, or that Hunt didn't expect a rowdy crowd from Crest to come to the game. So I seem to want to guess here that we're gonna travel pretty well though over to Durham today.
Oh yeah, it's going to be an unbelievable crowd, and I think of course not only in the pregame for that Brent and Jeff will have starts at 1 for Shelby and Kinston, and then of course at 7:00 we're on to get you ready for Crest and Wilson Hunt. It's going to be loud, and that's some interesting thoughts from the Wilson paper over there, and I think they're going to be in for a little bit of a surprise when it comes to that, but. I tell you, guys, we're excited about the hour pregame that leads up that myself, Paul, and Rob will have, and we've got a lot of special guests that are going to be on that pregame, and I know Jeff and Brent will as well. It's just going to be awesome for both these broadcasts and these huge matchups this afternoon.
Well, Tim, I think I got to sum up a little something on the Wilston's bravado. I don't think they have the experience that Crest has had. The Crest fans are used to state championships and used to traveling to large stadiums or whatever to see their Chargers win state championships. I'm not sure that Wilson has had that experience, and therefore I think they're going to be in a little bit of a shock and awe when they get there to see what it's really like. I remember several years ago that we were playing against a team from down in Albemarle area, and they were undefeated, and they were talking trash, and they rolled into town, and I think we ended up beating them. I don't remember the exact score, 45-0 or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dennis. I think I'd seen where Wilson Hunt is the first time they've been in the championship game in 21 years. And obviously for Crest, it's been 10 years, but you're right. They are a younger team. They're a team that is very confident, though, coming in. That's one thing I've read some of their quotes and thoughts from their coaching staff and players this week of the way they've been playing. They've been doing it with great defense, and they've been doing it with a great running game. And but saying that, you're right. I think Crest is certainly going to be the more battle-tested team. You never know, Dennis, how teams will handle that environment. But when you look at recent history, you're exactly right. Crest has been there a lot more. And again, you're talking about. Again, they've been to one state championship in 21 years, and for Crest, they've been there. They were there in 2010, 2011, 2013, 14, 15, and then here they are back in 2025. So you're exactly right. I think Crest certainly has an advantage in that area.
Well, and Tim, I'm going to change the context here, and I touched on this with Dennis in the post-game show and with Will last week. And real quick, I'm just going to flip this and we'll go look at the schedule here in a minute, but just this playoff run that Crest has had, and all right, sour grapes aside, I understand everybody the argument that people are frustrated about having to go to South Point after beating South Point during the regular season. I get that. Okay, but you look at what they've done in the past 3 weeks. And obviously, different classifications have different levels of talent, different numbers of players on their roster, so forth and so on. We don't have to think about the Weddington game as a good example of that. But in terms of the depth of talented teams in a particular classification, it would be difficult for anybody to argue about the 5A maybe being the deepest classification in the state this year. And if you, especially on the western side of the state. And if you want an argument to support that, look at the last 3 weeks for Crest. So they went up again. And not only that, these teams that are in their conference are right next door. East Lincoln, offensively, had been a juggernaut all year long. Ken, you know that as well as anybody.
Oh, yeah.
They've been, so Crest defeats them 31-14. I know that people in the Crest community were upset about having to go to Belmont, but the fact you went to Belmont, defeated South Point in Belmont by more than one score, just adds to the story of this championship run. And then on top of that, congratulations, you beat South Point at Belmont. Now you get to go up to Hickory and take on a historically talented and tough Hickory team, and you go and defeat them by 2 scores. This run, especially the past 3 weeks, you want to talk about being battle-tested and being ready. This might be the most impressive, if not the most impressive, at least one of the most impressive playoff runs for any school that I've ever seen.
I agree. I mean, the bottom line, won by at least 2 touchdowns against all 3 of those opponents.
Right, and they doubled the scores on those. They won, I think, 96-48 against those 3 teams.
And you look at those opponents; they're dynamic offensive teams in East Lincoln and South Point in different ways. You got a passing attack at East Lincoln. You got South Point who just straight runs the ball, which, again, you're going to look at Hunt. They're going to compare maybe to South Point. They're not South Point. And then you go to Hickory, who's more balanced, and the defense held in all 3 scenarios. So I really like Crest's chances today.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are exactly right. I mean, you said it perfectly. They're battle-tested. They've been dominant in these playoffs. I mean, really, other than obviously their 2 losses, the Weddington game and, of course, that Ashbrook game, which I think in a lot of ways they would have loved to have back. Not taking anything away from Ashbrook. They had a wonderful year and had a great game plan that night. But, yeah, guys, they're battle-tested. I mean, and you look at when things are really rolling. I mean, I was looking this morning, 8 of their 12 victories, they've had a running clock this year against opponents. That's when things are going really good. But you guys said it perfectly, and it's not just been the offense. The defense has played so well. They have held explosive offenses down in East Lincoln in the form of South Point, in the form of Hickory, way down. But saying all of that, guys, you got to finish it tonight. That's the key. We know they're loaded, they're talented, but Wilson Hunt at the same time, they're going to come in with a lot of confidence. I think the key is that first quarter. We've seen Crest really jump out on opponents a lot in the first quarter. That environment tonight, how will each team handle it? That's going to be very crucial. And then, and I always look at in these games as well, guys, special teams. Crest has been as good on special teams this year as they've been, in my opinion, in the last 8 or 9 seasons.
Agreed.
I'm interested to see what Wilson Hunt brings in that area. So Carson Greer and the special teams unit for Crest is going to be a big factor. And, it's going to be about it. Crest is certainly the favorite, but Hunt is going to come in fired up. But I go back to that point that Dennis made a little bit earlier. I just really think Crest, the more experienced team, will they be able to take that into tonight's 5A championship game?
Well, Tim, there's an old boxing adage that you are very, very determined and very sure of what you're going to do until that guy knocks you upside the head the first time, and then suddenly you have a change of plans. And I predict this may be what happens to this team, is they're going to get knocked up the side of the head by a quick Crest touchdown and maybe a quick defensive stop of some of their players, and they're going to look around and say, we didn't know it was going to be like this.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And, you're looking at individual players tonight, and I think of those seniors, and I think about, and it starts with Eli Hamrick. I mean, he was NC Preps voted him the 5A player of the year this week, and 46 touchdowns, close to, almost 3,700 yards. He has just been I think it's 30 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. You think about only 5 interceptions with the schedule that they've played is really impressive. Can Hunt get to him? Can they disrupt him? And the 2 losses Crest had, the defenses in Weddington and Ashford got him a little bit rattled, but it's been very rare this year. Not so sure, but that's going to be something to keep an eye on. And I think for Crest, they've got to keep an eye on the Hunt quarterback. He's very mobile. He gets out. They're going to have to get him down. He's broke tackles. If they've got a chance to get him down, this is a good defense, as we talked about. Guys, they got to get him down tonight.
Well, Tim, I'm not going to put any pressure on Eli, but, his daddy won a state championship quarterback in Crest.
Yes, he did.
I'm sure there might be a little pressure on him. Say, I got to get one too, Daddy.
Yeah, he did one about 30-plus years ago, and, that would be a pretty cool story. There's so many great storylines that we're going to be talking about in our pregame tonight as we at 7 o'clock to get ready for this one on KTC Broadcasting and .com, and, of course, 101.5 FM and WCSL. So many neat storylines for both these teams. I just think about, with Shelby, man, what about this freshman? A lot of times you think about a sophomore, junior, or senior that steps in and kind of propels you. It's been a freshman in a lot of ways for Shelby this year, and that's going to be a big key in their game this afternoon against Kinston. I'd
agree. And a couple of points you made, Tim, that I would echo here. I know wrapping up here, but thinking about, first of all, and forgive me, I'm getting names confused. Greer Carson's their kicker. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
And we talked about it during the post game last week. That kick in the second half last week against Hickory, that might have been the key play of the game to get them back up by 2 scores. Because, the momentum was starting to sway heavily Hickory's way.
And
Hickory
it changed. Yeah. It really did, Chip. It changed the game. It was a 39-yarder, and if you remember at the time, when it happened, it was 22-15. If he misses that, and Hickory had just drove down and scored.
Yep.
If they get the ball back and they go down and tie that game late in the third quarter, fourth quarter, as good as they've been at home, who knows what would have happened in that ball game. But that kick, that's what I'm talking about, all 3 phases. Yep. That's what it takes when you get to this point. That was such a huge play. You're right.
I agree. And 39 yards in high school, that ain't no chip shot. That young man, no. he put a boot on it. And to get, and I agree with you, Hickory was starting to get their offense rolling. They were feeling the momentum. Crest was feeling the pressure. They were they were feeling like, is this happening right now? To get into Hickory territory and not get points right there of some sort could have been just completely demoralizing. And to get out of there with 3 points, get a little bit of breathing room for the time being, and I think that kind of relaxed everybody. The defense stepped up at that point. You started to see the depth of Crest really take over the game the rest of the way, and that's how they were able to kind of spread it out. The other thing I will echo in what you said, that Ashbrook game. And yes, I agree with you. That's probably one that continues to just irritate the stew out of the team, out of Coach Lloyd and the staff. But on the other end of that is the one game that Coach Lloyd can look at these guys and remind them, guys, if we don't have our A game, if we're not maintaining our focus, if we're not doing, any team can come and get us. Any team this late, there's no bad teams at this point. This late in the contest, there's no bad teams. If we're not paying attention, maintaining our assignments, doing the fundamental things, the Bill Belichick, if we're not doing our job, this team could take care of business if we're not ready for it. And if you need an example of that, go back to October 24th, guys. So I think as much as it hurts, that hurt can be used as motivation to don't let that happen again today.
Yeah, and I would just kind of, as we wrap up, I would just echo those sentiments of how important that is. And remember, in that game, guys, Crest was up 14-0 late in the first half and had outgained Ashbrook over 200 yards. And then Ashbrook came back and took over, and Crest never scored again. And the point being that tonight's got to be a 4-quarter game. And, yes, Crest has been playing at a high level since that Ashbrook game. But you got to play 4 quarters, and you got to win all 3 facets. That's what it takes to win championships, a state championship. And I just wish, head coach Greg Lloyd all the best tonight. I wish head coach Mike Wilbanks all the best as he goes for his 3rd state championship with Shelby this afternoon. And again, guys, just what a special day. And I appreciate you guys at KTC, and I appreciate you giving us time. And we're looking forward to a tremendous broadcast this evening.
All right, Tim. Well, you and Paul again, and Robbie, everybody, all the Crest folks have done the broadcast. We appreciate y'all so much. And y'all have safe travels over to Durham, and bring home a state championship for us, will you?
Yes, sir. Thank
right,
you, gentlemen. Enjoy your day. Thanks for the time.
Yes, sir. All right, safe travels, my friend. All right, that was Tim Foster giving us the breakdown. We'll talk a little bit more Crest, and then as we start to wind down this special edition of the Witherspoon Insurance and Shelby pregame show, we'll start going into. We've got four games today. Actually, I know we're talking about 2 of them here. There's actually 2 others that we're talking about, and we'll get Brian and Ken and Dennis's takes on those games as well. And get our thoughts as well, final thoughts on Shelby and Crest and predictions. You're listening to Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby pregame show, a special edition here on Saturday, State Championship Saturday here for Cleveland County. We'll be right back after this message. KTC Broadcasting.
CF Moto is clicking on all cylinders during their clearance sales event at Full Throttle Powersports in Law. Get financing as low as 0% and up to $1,500 cash back on CF Moto models. And check out the Suzuki DRZ 4S motorbike with financing at 4.99% for 36 months. And the Yamaha Let's Ride sales event is underway. Get 0% for 60 months or $3,000 customer cash back. Full Throttle Powersports, 100 Indian Walk in Law, online at ncfullthrottlepowersports.com. If you have a job in one thin dime, then you ride at the all-new Shelby Kia in Shelby. Coming out for all the details during Kia's Season of New Tradition. Get pre-approved and drive away in your new Kia for just a dime down. Get the new 2026 Kia Sportage X line for $228 per month. And the new 2025 Kia KREX, also $228 per month. Come in for all the details at the new Shelby Kia, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Highway 74 East in Shelby, online at shelbykia.com. Happy Honda Days for the new Shelby Honda in Shelby. Come in and discover what's new at Shelby Honda. If you have a job and one thin dime, you ride at Shelby Honda. Coming down for all the details. Get 0.99% APR financing for 60 months on the new 2025 Honda Ridgeline, or drive away in a new 2026 Honda CR-V for $259 per month. Come in for all the details at the new Shelby Honda, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, Highway 74 East. Online at shelbyhonda.com.
Merry Christmas to all from everyone at Bennett Insurance Agency in downtown Cherryville, your Erie insurance agent. As the holiday is upon us, we find ourselves reflecting on the past year and on those who have helped to shape our town. We value our relationship with you and look forward to working with you in the year to come. We wish you a season and a new year filled with peace and prosperity. Merry Christmas to all from Bennett Insurance Agency, 116 West Main Street, downtown Cherryville.
At All Care Insurance Services, they take care of you. From auto to home to business, All Care Insurance can help. They've been helping North Carolinians save on their insurance since 1984. All Care Insurance Services is an independent insurance agency. They work for you, not the insurance carriers, finding you the best value on auto, home, and business insurance. Visit one of their offices near you. 220 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, 4835 Wilkinson Boulevard in Gastonia, and 7005 East Wilkinson Boulevard in Belmont. Online at goallcare.com.
Pleasant City Wood-Fire Grill hopes that all beautiful and meaningful things be yours this holiday season and throughout the coming new year. We wish you all the happiness your holiday can hold. We hope the magic of Christmas fills every corner of your heart and home with joy, now and always. This Christmas greeting is brought to you by everyone at Pleasant City Wood-Fire Grill, 233 South Lafayette Street in Shelby, online at pleasantcitywoodfiregrill.com.
And we're back on the special edition of the Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby pregame show here on Saturday mornings.
Thank you, JP, and welcome back, everybody. Once again, a special edition of the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show, North Carolina football pregame show here, along with Ken Link, Brian Branch, Dennis Davis, John Prather, making us sound good, and Chip Carter here with you. As always, want to appreciate the Hastings family, Kevin, Calvin, Teresa, Miss Teresa, everybody giving us the opportunity. Thank you for this entire football season, bringing the broadcast to our area. Brian, I don't have it, so why don't you, folks, it's official. High school championship Saturday has begun. Can you give us a score update on our first game?
Yeah, from Lenore Ryan's Moret Stadium, Reedsville leads Brevard 7-6 in that game midway through the first quarter.
All right, so I said this last Saturday, and I'm going to give as much grief as we give the North Carolina High School Athletic Association, and most of it I would say is justified. I'm going to give them a tip of the cap for this one thing specifically and one thing only: the arrangement and scheduling of these championship games this weekend. I think they did it about as well as it could have been done. The 2 Thursday games were the 1A and the 8A. Those are the games, those teams that had 2 weeks off. So those two games, those 4 teams that had the most time off, so they should get the first day's games. I thought that was a great decision. So the 1A and the 8A. By doing that, one of those teams was Robbinsville. By doing that, that took Robbinsville out of the equation for being at Lenore Ryan. So the 2 Lenore Ryan games went to the other 2 remaining teams that were farthest west, Murphy and Brevard. So the Murphy-Tarboro game and the Brevard-Reedsville games are both, as we just mentioned, Brevard-Reedsville is going on right now. Those are both at Lenore Ryan, the farthest west state championship site. I think that makes sense. Then they also, the one thing that I didn't think they would do, and they actually did, they made sure out of all, we've got 8 state championship games. Out of those 8 classifications, you've got one county that's being represented in 2 different classifications, and that's Cleveland County, and they made sure that those 2 games were played at the same site and on the same day. And I give kudos to the North Carolina High School Athletic Association for having Shelby and Crest both playing in the same location. I didn't really care where it was. I just, and being Durham might be the least desirable location, but the fact that they got us again, that might be the compromise. They said, we'll let them play, but they're going to play at Durham. But the fact that they let Shelby and Crest play at the same location, you've obviously got family that are going to interchange over those. You've got a lot of fans that might want to try to go to both games. So I do give kudos to the High School Athletic Association for their scheduling. I think was about perfect for these 8 games.
Chip, I understand the difference. A lot of people were upset because you got a 2:00 Shelby game and an 8:00 Crest game. Remember, they're playing 4 different games today.
Right.
They got 2 at Lenore Ryan, 1 going on right now. Reedsville is up 14-7.
Yep.
Then they got to go to another game at 2:00, the Shelby game.
Yep.
And then they have a 4 or 6 o'clock game, and then they go to the Crest game, and so they need time in between these games to get it going. And that's why if you're in Durham today, you're having to sit out in the cold between the Shelby game and the Crest game is because of the games that are going on in Hickory.
And the reason there's a 4-hour break between the 4 and the 8 p.m. is probably because of local news. Because these games are going to be televised, so I bet local news as well.
And dinner.
Well, that too, yeah.
And that Reedsville-Brevard game is 14-7, 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns. So
wow,
it's looking
14-7,
like a track meet up there in Hickory.
That's good. All right, well, we've got 4 games today, guys, and we'll save the 2 that we're a little biased. We'll save in-depth breakdown and analysis for those 2 last. But I know Ken, Brian, I think y'all might, and Dennis, you too. Y'all did some research on these other 2 games that we've got today. We've got the 2A matchup. Murphy, again, you can't get much farther west in the state than Murphy, but without tripping into Tennessee pretty much. But you've got Murphy taking on Tarboro. That game is at Lenore Ryan. That is the 4 p.m. game. I tell you what, I'm sorry. Let's flip. We'll save that one because the game that's currently going on, Reedsville's up 14-7 on Brevard. Is that right, Brian? 14-7 Reedsville?
14-7 midway through the first quarter and 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns in that game.
Most everybody in this area is familiar with Reedsville and from our previous classifications, and we know that generally that the was it the 2A? I think it used to be the former 2A when there was only 4 classifications. The western side of the 2A state bracket more often than not in recent years ran through Reedsville, but this year they're on the eastern side and they take on an undefeated Brevard Blue Devil team that's had a pretty impressive season, at least record wise. So if y'all have notes or thoughts on that, I'd love to get your take on it.
Well, Reedsville, everybody knows what a traditional power they've been, but last year they got knocked out of the playoffs by East Rockland. And this year they made it there, but they've lost a couple of games, and they barely won last week against West Craven, 23-21. They have a balanced attack. One player that's well-known, tight end and defensive end, Kendrick Harrison. Probably, I think he won one award as the best player in North Carolina. He committed to Oregon last year, highly recruited, a real good basketball player too. But he's the leading receiver. But they have a wide receiver, Deontay Neal, caught 61 passes, averaging 71 yards per game. He sometimes plays quarterback. In fact, I read something on NC Preps where one of the fans said, if they start the other guy at quarterback, Tyson Broadway would probably won't win. But if they put Neal back there, we'll probably win. So evidently he's a great athlete. But, I don't know that much more about them, except it was a close win last week against West Craven. Brevard, undefeated on the season, averaging 40 points a game, only giving up 16. Quarterback Kristen Conley, averaging 123 yards a game. Wide receiver Tristan Thompson-Wynn, averaging 92 yards a game, receptions. I heard Tom Cinefati talk about him and how impressive he thought he was as a player when they beat Burns in a close game early in the playoffs. Last week they had a impressive win over Maiden, winning 30-13. I think this is a toss-up game. I had it that Brevard was going to pull this one out 22-21. Evidently, it looks like it's going to be a higher scoring game than that, but I think it will be close.
They're already there. It's already 22-21. No, I'm just joking.
Ken, one of the interesting facts that you mentioned about their big player that's going to Oregon, he did not start the year with them.
Yeah, I know.
He went to, what was it, Country Day in Charlotte?
In Charlotte, yeah.
I think there might have been some money changed hands or something.
Yeah, and then he didn't stay long and went back. Yeah.
I think it may be 2 games and he went back home.
Yes.
And so he's worked out pretty good for that team. But I don't know what happened with the Oregon recruiting. Why does a kid want to go all the way across the nation to play for Oregon?
Have you seen their facilities? you know who sponsors them, don't you?
Yeah, Nike.
That's Nike University, basically. So.
Yeah. You get a lot of free Nike gear.
Yeah,
and he was highly recruited. I know Carolina was after him. A lot of teams wanted him, but
Mm-hmm. Well, Brevard again, they're just more of a rushing attack. Their running back Braylon Thompson against Maiden had 122 rushing yards and 2 scores against Maiden. And, Reedsville just has more of a passing and running attack. They're a little more balanced with pass. They're a little more pass heavy. I think in this particular game, I'm going to go with Reedsville, pull that game out in a close one, like 28-24. Probably should have said something higher, but that's what
that'll be the halftime score.
Yeah. If they were playing in Brevard, I'd favor Brevard because of the weather and the home field. But this is a neutral field for both teams, that you will, and I'm going to deter to Reedsville.
Is that turf up there?
At Brevard?
No, at Lenore-Ryan.
I don't know.
I don't know either. That makes a difference in some of these games.
I think
that would favor Reedsville, I think, as well.
Yeah, it possibly. I tend to, and Ken, I like your pick. I tend to lean with Dennis and Brian on this, and I'm going to go with the championship pedigree here. I think this is not uncommon territory for a lot of these Reedsville players. So I tend to think that Reedsville is going to pull out the victory on this one.
My factor into choosing Reedsville, there are no white squirrels in Hickory.
Oh, okay. There you go.
And it is turf up there. And again, if I'm leaning, to me, turf helps the passing game more than it does the running game. Mm-hmm. Just in my opinion, a little faster track.
Yep. So we've got that game, and then also the other game taking place at Lenore-Ryan later on today, 4 p.m. As I mentioned, to be Murphy against Tarboro. Again, Murphy from far west. That's about as west as you can get. And then Tarboro, that is speaking about a historic powerhouse. A lot of state championships in their classifications historically have run through Tarboro. So what research have y'all gotten on this one?
Well, Tarboro, obviously very impressive, undefeated on the season, averaging 42 points a game, only giving up 9. They're 90% rushing. They're going to run the ball at you. they averaged 356 yards rushing per game, led by running back Cameron McDowell Moore, averaging 143 yards a game on the ground. As I mentioned before, Tarboro has victories over Hunt, who's playing for a championship today, and Kingston, who's playing for a championship today. They beat Hunt by 17. They beat Kingston by 7. They're a powerhouse. Murphy, averaging 38 points a game, giving up 13. They're about 75% rush, but I don't think they can handle the talent and power of this Tarboro offense. I think Tarboro wins I got them winning 35-10.
Yeah, it's another. Again, you look across the way, they're looking in a mirror at Murphy because they like to run the football, but it's not the same image coming back at them because Tarboro is just on another level as compared to what we have with Murphy. And I'm in agreement with you. I think Tarboro is going to win this thing going away. I'm going to go 42-14.
Well, they're two historically strong teams at that level. But I concur with you guys. If you know anything about the history of Tarboro, they played Shelby a few times. They played
Lincoln. Beat Lincoln State Championship. I was there and watched that one.
They played in the championships against the local teams. We sort of can gauge how good they are. And I concur with Ken as to the strength of Tarboro's football. This is one time the East is going to beat the West.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would, and I don't forgive me. I stepped away for a second. And if I'm repeating something, a point that Brian or one of y'all already made, this Tarboro is very much kind of Reidsville of their classification. They've historically been a tough team to get through. And correct me if I'm wrong, but they've beat two teams that are showing up in other classification state championship games. Is that correct? They beat, and the two teams they beat are the two teams that our Cleveland County teams are playing later today.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct.
Tarboro has defeated Kinston, and Tarboro has defeated Hunt this season. So that being said, I'm going to go with Tarboro to win this game. I wish I could root for Murphy, but I'm going to go with Tarboro, and I'm sure.
The good news, Chip, is the Cleveland County schools are not playing Tarboro.
Exactly.
I think they might be able to handle them. We'll see, but I'm going to pick Tarboro to win that game as well. So those are the two games taking place at Lenore-Ryan. All right, guys, let's take a look here. We've got our two local games. We've had a chance to talk to Jeff Jones, talk to Robbie Roop, talk to Tim Foster. We've got their thoughts. I want y'all's final notes and predictions. We'll start with the 2 p.m. game, Shelby against Kinston.
Well, I'll go ahead. Yeah. We talked about the two quarterbacks of these teams, amazing stats, amazing seasons, and we talked about neither one of them is committed to play at the next level, which is amazing to me. But I think it'll be a high-scoring game. We got great quarterback play and receivers on both sides, but I think Shelby's defense is a little bit better than Kinston, and I think that'll be the factor. I do see a high-scoring game. I'm going to predict this. Shelby wins this by 2 touchdowns, 42-28.
Yeah, I got the same thoughts from that standpoint of the defense being the X factor in this game. Watched them. I was there actually trying to work on internet issues last week at Lincoln with no clothes on. And was freezing.
Wait a minute.
Just hold on.
Let me say, is that the naked Drew?
Let's say
this is a family show, Brian.
Were you at a Panthers game? Like, what is this?
But I did witness Shelby's defense really take a big step up. Now, can they continue that this week? If they do, they'll win this thing going away if their defense can apply that much pressure. I think Shelby's the better team. I think, and the defense being the X factor. I got Shelby winning 42-21 in that game.
Have you been looking at my notes?
No, I have not.
You got them laid out for him there to read.
I have not.
You highlighted them for him.
But they're sideways.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I think in my, quote, analysis of this, the two quarterbacks cancel each other.
Yeah.
It's who else comes to play today. Is it the running back from Kinston? Is it Shelby's wide receivers? But I concur with you, sir. The difference in this game will be the Shelby defense. I think they're going to be able to contain Kinston enough that they will come out ahead. And, Ken, I like your 42 points for Shelby, but I'm going to have to give Kinston 38.
I've got several factors here that think about first, and y'all talked about the defense for Shelby. When you've got a good quarterback and you've got good receivers, your defense needs to do one or two. Even the opposing team does. Your defense needs to do one or two things. You need to get pressure from your front four, or you need to be able to blitz well to make sure the quarterback can't set his feet consistently. Shelby can do that. They proved that last week. If I don't know about Kinston's O-line and how much time they're going to buy that quarterback. If they can give him time, then at that point you're going to need your secondary to step up and shut down these receivers. Okay, so that's the emphasis on the defensive end. If Kinston is able to put points on the board, I agree, Dennis. What you just said, you took the words right out of my mouth. Land and this other quarterback they're both going to put their numbers up. I think they're both in a good place and mentally, and they're playing great football. They're, in a sense, they're going to cancel each other out. We've got a young freshman running back who is not playing like a freshman.
No.
And if Kinston's able to move the ball, if we're not able to get pressure in and they're able to complete passes and they're able to put points up, our strategy might change to let's keep the offense off the field. It might become an issue of, okay, we've got the firepower, but maybe we want to win by death by 1,000 paper cuts, and we might have Land do some quarterback keepers, and forgive me, the freshman running back, I can't remember his name.
Woods
for Shelby.
Jonas Woods.
Jonas, thank you, who has played so well. Filling in for Jalen Tate and
605 yards of his
and how many games?
960 have come only in the playoffs. But Chip, let me throw one thing to you because I want to get your thoughts on this. We've said these quarterbacks may cancel one another out. Defenses may cancel one another out, although I think Shelby's better. Who may win this game is special teams.
That's fair. So
Shelby could run back a punt or a touchdown. Yep. They could run back a kickoff. They're better at that, I think, than Kinston is, thus the advantage to Shelby.
There's so many different areas that what I was going to say, there's so many different areas that Shelby could take an advantage, whether it's their front line, whether it's secondary, or whether they're able to just control the game with the pace with their running game. I think there's too many ways that Shelby can adjust their strategy. That flexibility with their speed is going to give Shelby the advantage. I picked the Golden Lions to win this state championship.
And shout out to one of our Shelby baseball players. He's a long snapper on this team.
Yeah.
And he's a recruited long snapper.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, you're right, Brian.
Yep. So Brett Morgan, shout out to him. Mm-hmm. Had a great year. Recruited long snapper. May come down to that kid.
Yep.
May come down to that long snapper making or on a short snap on a field goal to make the play happen.
So that's our analysis of the Shelby game. And then the final game of the night, our last state championship game for North Carolina in 2025, Crest versus Hunt. Guys, give me one running down the clock. Give me your take on this one.
All right. I think Crest has just overall got a better team than Hunt. We've talked about quarterback Hamrick, who not only makes things happen with his arms but also with his legs. He's got 17 touchdowns rushing to add to his 30 yards passing. Crest has 5 D1 players on this team, 3 of them in the secondary, and of course Hamrick, who's going to Virginia, and offensive lineman Nary Hickman, who's going to Gardner-Webb. Those are your 2 offensive players. And then defensive players, you got Pettis, Surratt, and Walton, all playing in that defensive secondary. Their defense is going to be the difference in this game. Hunt will not be able to stay with them. I see Crest winning this one 35-14.
I'm gonna let Dennis finish since he's earned that right, being this big Crest fan that he is. But I watched Crest play Burns the first game of the year, and they made Burns look like a JV team. I mean, they really did. And Burns was a breath away from beating Brevard.
That's right.
To continue on in the playoffs.
That's right.
And one of the things that just impressed me when I walked out and watched them, when I left here, I went by the field and watched them, is their physical attributes. They're huge up front. The quarterback's huge. Their defense is huge. And I had leaned on that going into the playoffs. I just leaned on that defense and all those athletes. And we proved the point, and the proof's in the pudding of the results that Crest has gotten in the playoffs, handling perennial powers in high school football. They have shut them down. They're going to do the same thing here. I don't see that Hunt team getting any more than 14 points, just like any of the others. So I'm going to take Crest 35, Hunt 14.
And that coming from a Burns guy.
Coming from a Burns guy and a Shelby coach.
Well, I tell you what, fellas. Everybody knows about Eli Hamrick. They're going to be gunning for him. Eli's done a great job of throwing the ball, but his legs have earned a lot too. The quarterbacks are going to balance one another out. You've got the defensive guys that you talked about, the D1 prospects. They're going to ball hawk and play hard all day. The secret to Crest winning today is two guys we haven't really talked about, actually three of them. Malachi Gamble and Jason Black, great running backs who don't get enough credit. And Marjay Thompson and Michael Edwards, who are great receivers and run the ball as well. Now, fellas, I didn't major in math. I wasn't very good at it. But Ken,
neither am I. I only work at a bank.
Anyway, the point being, if you've got 7 excellent quality D1 players, Ken, and I've got 2, the odds are in your favor.
I agree, and I did major in math, and I agree with you.
Go figure. But I think that's the key to this game right here. You know, we've got more than you've got, and we're just going to line up and play.
We talked about, and Dennis, you kind of segued into my point too. You just heard Tim talk about this Hunt team might be down to what, 30 players is what they said.
Yeah,
I mean, how do you not have guys going to play other sports when they're on a state championship team, or a state championship final
and
team?
And some of them are going both ways too, Chip.
Right. That's my point. So,
and that's going to be tough.
The one thing that Crest has shown, especially last week against Hickory, you just mentioned it. When the game got close, they just changed out a fresh set of legs at running back, and that ended up separating them and breaking the game open against Hickory. Special teams, they've been sound all year. Defense, if you've got speed kills, we know that. When you've got size that can protect the trenches and speed, there's just so many ways for Crest to win this game. Yep. They've got so many different weapons. They've got so many different talents and abilities, defensively, offensively, special teams. I would be shocked if Crest doesn't win this game soundly. The three of the best teams, and probably the 3 best teams other than them in the classification, East Lincoln, South Point, and Hickory, none of them could put more than 14 points up on the defense. Hickory scored 21. One of those was a kickoff return touchdown. No team has scored more than 14 points in the past 3 weeks on this Crest defense. I don't think it's going to happen today either. I pick Crest to win.
Chip, to sum it up, don't bring a knife to a gunfight.
There you go.
And Hunt's got a pen knife, and Crest just got an AK-47.
Well, host, folks, we thank you for tuning in to a special edition of the Witherspoon Insurance and Shelby pregame show. We hope next Saturday when we come into the Shock Jocks, we can be congratulating 2 Cleveland County teams on state championships. Let's wish them luck. Travel up to Durham, folks. Go cheer these teams on. Give them your support. Want to thank everyone for tuning in all season long to KTC Broadcasting and all of our broadcast and in-studio shows. I want to thank the Hastings family as always. Ken Link, Brian Branch, great job this year. Wonderful. Please come back and do the pregame show next year. Y'all been phenomenal. Dennis Davis representing Will Boykins as well. Great work on the Red Zone and the postgame show this year. JP, as always, your studio work, phenomenal. Thank you very much. On behalf of everybody here at KTC, thanks for tuning in. Go enjoy Championship Saturday. Have a wonderful weekend. Merry Christmas, everybody. Take care.
Incredible man, I only do things incredible can. Cause I am seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me. Cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you. Cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
You're listening to The Boss, WHS, Shelby, North Carolina, your beach oldies and sports stations. Online